Hello, guys, and welcome back. I have another important history lesson for your listening and comprehension learning. I am going to be talking about the third president of the United States. His name was Thomas Jefferson. He was a very intelligent, meticulous person during the 18th century. Excuse me. So let's get to the listening exercise about Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was one of the most important people in American history. As a matter of fact, he is one of the most important people that lived in America. The law and beliefs in the United States are based on Jefferson's ideas of equality and peace. Equality means that everyone is the same and no one is better than anyone else. Everyone is the same. Thomas Jefferson was born in the colony called Virginia in 1753. A colony is a land that is ruled by another country. During this time, the colonies in the United States, there were 13 colonies, and Virginia was one of those colonies. And the colony was ruled by England. England owned those colonies at that time during the 18th century, later 18th century. When Thomas Jefferson was only 22 years old, he was elected to the Continental Congress. The Continental Congress was the government of the American colonies. They made laws and they worked together to get independence for the American colonies from England. They worked very hard to separate from England. In 1776, Thomas Jefferson was asked to write the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was a document that said all the members of the Continental Congress would sign. It said that the American colonies wanted to be their own country and that they didn't want to be ruled by England anymore. Thomas Jefferson wrote two of his beliefs in the Declaration of Independence. The first was that all men are created equal. This means that every person is the same and should be treated the same way by the government and by other people. We all should be treated the same, shouldn't we? By our neighbors, our family, our friends, and also by the people we elected to put in power to govern us. To govern means to make laws so that we can obey the laws. The second was that the government should be a servant of the people and not its master. The government should not be our masters. They should be a servant of the people. This means that the government should help people and not only tell people what to do, but to adhere to those laws themselves. These two beliefs are critical. They're very important. These two beliefs are very important to the United States and how the government works today. Even though in the 21st century, we are in the 21st century today, our governments in all countries, the governments don't seem to do what they say and put in laws for the people. They don't seem to do that today. They don't seem to believe that everyone is equal and should abide by the same rules of law. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776. Every year in America, they celebrate this 4th of July as a national holiday. In 1783, the war between England and America stopped. It ended, and the United States became an independent country at that time. This is why the United States celebrate Independence Day. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, and America became independent of England. Thomas Jefferson was elected to be the third president of the United States. He was president for 9 years, from 1801 to 1809. While he was president, Thomas Jefferson expanded. He made bigger the United States. He bought land from France in the southern part of the United States, where the state of Louisiana is to this very day. This purchase was called the Louisiana Purchase. Thomas Jefferson, he also sent 2 men named Lewis and Clark to explore, to find, to look at the western part of the country. Because of this exploration, the United States was able to expand, to grow to the west, from the East Coast to the West Coast, making the country of the United States even larger. Thomas Jefferson was a very smart man who was very well educated. Education was very important to him. He was well educated. Well educated means that he went to school and he learned quite a bit. He learned a lot. He studied. He had a huge library at his home in Virginia. His home today is in Monticello, Virginia. It's a beautiful home. Thomas Jefferson knew a lot about history. He knew a lot about science and also architecture. When Thomas Jefferson got older, he decided to share his books with the people of the United States. At that time, the United States government had just built a library. They called the Library of Congress. Thomas Jefferson sold many of his books to the Library of Congress, which is there today. Today, the Library of Congress is the most important library in the United States today. Every person in the United States can visit and read the books there. Thomas Jefferson believed in equality. He believed in education and fairness. Because of the very important role Thomas Jefferson played in the United States history, these ideas are written into the laws of the United States and are important to every person living there today. So listen to this exercise often. Review the subtitles in the lesson, and practice. Also, guys, I would appreciate if you would like my page and that you would subscribe to my English channel, okay? I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening, or a great night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time, okay? Goodbye.